Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a Vtuber, and I'll be going over the seasonal anime that I'll be reacting to, which is The Gene of AI, Episode 1, titled Backup. So let's get started. So in the beginning, we kind of have this like machine type of matrix or environment. And then after that, we get a cut to what is, I guess, like a kind of like a young child, and then you go straight into the eye, which is important because eyes are incredibly important in this show. And then you have this young woman here who's thinking, when it happened, why did I listen to them? So this is kind of like a flashback to an earlier time, but also is sort of, in a way, a part of the core of the show. You'll see what I mean later. So here you can tell that she's regretting something that she has done, which is listening to this group of really suspicious people. Well, I was told that genome editing would be difficult. That sounds like you didn't get a good explanation from the doctors. I find it funny here is that on the bottom it says, this story is a work of near-future fiction, and resemblance to existing persons or organizations is entirely coincidental, which is kind of cool to show in a sci-fi show. But anyway. So these guys are kind of explaining something to her. As long as you provide a case on the justification for muster, the procedure can be approved. What procedure they are talking about is something related to, I guess, a robot's like personality or mind, which will be explained. And then there's a financial aspect as well, which she's worried about because she doesn't have much money. And then we get the time period that this flashback happened, which was 25 years ago. Don't these type of treatments cost a lot? We might be able to help you with that. Our firm is actually looking for humanoid participants. And humanoids are important here as they're kind of like the version of robots or artificial intelligence here. For neural net clinical trials. So she's doing a lot of testing, and then you see here is the contract or approval form. So 4358, first compatibility trial special cooperative double-blind study regarding virtual environment therapy methodology. And participant information. Sign up, we're willing to waive the cost of your son's treatment. This is really sus right here. Because usually for trials, it's usually based on a volunteer basis. And they're usually not supposed to pay you, I think, for it. So this, especially enough to cover someone's medical bills. That's really, really suspicious. I wouldn't trust these guys at all. Then you see that this woman right here says, you don't have to worry about the money. And then you can help your son, who is Hikaru right here, the white-haired kid. And you can tell she's a humanoid based on her eyes. Horizontal pupils. You can't just give up. Modern medicine could probably even fix the root cause. And they see that this woman and the two guys are nodding. I don't know if they're working together, but it's very suspicious. That being said, we need to confirm if your neural net is a fit for the study. And what would that mean? We'd like to get a copy of your neural net, which is pretty much the version of your mind, which is already like big red flag, a copy. Why wasn't I more skeptical? You can see like, why did she not think that this was bad for her? And she regrets it a lot later on. Then we get the opening. Not too much to see in the opening exactly, but we get the introduction of our main character, who is Hikaru. Was previously known as Hikaru, but is in the show known as Dr. Suda or Mugarit. Mugarit is his, his black market name. You see his eyes are quite beautiful. They're like blue, but they're very detailed. It's really interesting. And then you have these like virtual interfaces, which people can see in everyday life. Kind of cool. Kind of like a real-time version of augmented reality or virtual reality. And here you can see that the main character is working on someone's mind, and that person's humanoid because their mind is made of metal. Then you can see that a flashback to that picture that was referred to his mother and him, and then his mother being arrested by the cops. So in a way, his whole goal is to try to find his, or save his mother, or find his mother's mind. Then you get the whole genome thing. And it gets some reference to the characters. You have him, and then you have this pink clothed girl who is his assistant in the doctor's office. And yeah, and then we get to the beginning. The Robot Ethics Conference in Switzerland, which began on the 13th, included the award ceremony for Professor Osawa Yuji, who won the Mosley Prize. And this restaurant here is quite important because it seems to be a popular or nearby restaurant to the doctor's clinic. Osawa-san, who currently resides in the US, and then you see here, 13th Swiss Robot Ethics Conference efforts to preserve humanoid rights, is known for various cognitive trials that have helped protect humanoid rights, laying the foundation for humanoid rights law. Well, supposedly 10% of the population is humanoid these days, meaning that they make up a pretty significant amount of the population overall, and 90% is humans. And this guy is a human who is the chef. So you are one, aren't you? And he, yep, I am. Because you can tell from the eyes, the horizontal pupils. Guess you don't have to worry about dropping dead from illness, because they're machines. But he's like, nah, you go just as hard if your heads go bad. They're in a way just as vulnerable to mind attacks or mind influences. Always make a backup, right? That'd be illegal. Rules say you can't swap out or make copies of what's in your head. Is that how it works? Of course, that sort of thing doesn't stop everybody, they say. So in a way, this shows that what happened earlier in that backstory or flashback was, of course, illegal because the main character's mother was forced to have her, was voluntarily allowing for her mind to be copied and then was later arrested because of it. So in a way, that has its own implications. And you see that the doctor here is finished with his food, so he's leaving. There you go to the Pseudonova Medical Clinic, which is his clinic. And you see that the nurse we saw in the opening is injecting some sort of fluid into this boy's arm. You'll want to lie down inside the machine until the implant has settled in your brain. So it's like a liquid implant, which is interesting. A nurse will the implant, and then the doctor will check him as well. Get over here, we need to take a look, and then they go into, it's supposed to be an MRI room. Not sure why it's called MSI room, but nah, whatever. In use. And then he's checked up and everything. Do all your friends have implants? So in a way, it's like the trendy thing. Well, heck yeah, I'm like the last to get one. Kind of like getting the new phone or new console or something. Sign of the times. Okay, should be ready. As for how to use it, and then you see the kid already knows. Once in his mind, he's like, already has that virtual interface up. He's like, hey guys, I just got installed, add me to the group chat. It's like a augmented reality, virtual reality version of Discord, which is super funny. He sort of intuitively knows how to use it already. And the guy's like, huh? You have machines that look exactly like humans, with human bodies being changed more and more by technology. Just like with PCs and smartphones, people have grown to casually accept these changes, as it's like kind of part of advancing technology and advancement of the world. And Risa is her name. I'll wrap things up for her with you, and then he's going out as he has helping someone as Mogadi, which is his underground name. You can see that she looks immediately worried. She's like, where are you going? What are you doing? He says, later. And don't do anything dangerous. So you can tell that she cares a lot about his well-being. And here you can see he's trying to drive, which is pretty cool. Please say your destination, I'll drive myself. That would avoid your automotive insurance, because manual driving is clearly more unsafe than having it auto drive. How a world we're living in, or self-driving at least. Then he arrives at the house, and he meets the people who've requested him as Mogadit. Then you can see their daughter is looking from the window. They stay put, and you can see that this woman here is the one who's being treated, and she has that tea canister, but her arms are shaking as if she's like buggy. And the doctor's like, let's start examining. Neural problems can be a race against time. And then the daughter is going downstairs to just listen in on their conversation. She's been shaking nonstop since yesterday. She's got a machine body. So I'm worried that it could be an issue with the parts. And then doctor is like, did you perform it yourselves? Stop playing dumb. You made him back up, didn't you? And you see that this guy's expression changes completely. It's like, of course we did. Copying a humanoid's personality is illegal. You had to have known that. That's why we came to you instead of the hospital. OD, the underworld doctor who will provide illegal treatment as long as the price is right. You're in no position to lecture us. Humanoids like you are what really pissed me off. All the technology still managed to be stupid. So in a way, you can think about it as machines becoming more like humans if they're still flawed. So why did you do it? Would you get talking to me like this? You think I would take it because I'm a humanoid? Your wife has a virus, which is the issue here. She has 2 weeks until she's an empty shell. It likely came from the external connection when you created the backup. That means you could fix her, right? I'll need to see the backup first. Good chance it's not infected. When was the backup made? About a week ago. And you see that he's finished his appointment and then he's trying to drive back in his car. And the girl's there. Car and key encryption are pretty retro. I was able to crack them right away. She's a skilled hacker. Not bad. Whose kid are you? You're just talking to my parents? And they adopted me as I'm a human, which is cool. 2 humanoid parents and a human child. Definitely atypical dynamic, but it makes sense. Because in a way, humanoids are like robots who are becoming more and more human-like, while humans, in a way, are just trying to advance themselves to keep up with the rapidly advancing technology. So could you give me a lift to the station? My mom slipped on the stairs and hit her head really badly, so she's explaining what happened. That's why my dad got nervous enough to make the backup. He did for mom's sake, please don't be too hard on him. And why are personality copies illegal anyway? And then here explains, do you know whenever there's a crackdown on organized crime in the Middle East, there's always a humanoid called the crying man among the rest. The original they were made from was kidnapped 20 years ago. They found his body dumped in the desert. His personality has been copied, sold on the black market, and used in crime time and time again. So in a way, those personality copies are exploited by people. Because in a way, it's like going all out on something that doesn't belong to you, but in a way, you still use it anyway. Kind of think of it as like a little bit similar to the controversy with AI, people profiting off of someone else's work, or in a way, not someone else's work, but someone else completely. Kind of like a form of slavery or cloning. Stuff like that only happens overseas. Happens everywhere. You can tell that he's completely serious, and she kind of realizes that bit. Even if they're not used to break the law, there are plenty of other issues with the copies. You'll understand what I mean someday, and she'll realize this later. Happened to my mom. Your mom's infected virus, so her backup is clean. I asked if your father wants to use the backup. What do you say? He wants to talk it over with your current mom. And the current mom is a very important part of the phrasing here. And she asks about it too, my current mom. It's like the current version of her mom's personality or mind. As in a way, when you make a copy of the same thing, right? They may initially be identical, but as each version does their own thing, they gain new experiences, in a way become their own version of themselves. And that's the difficult thing with becoming a copy. It's sort of like gaining a twin you didn't really want. Or, what's the word? It's kind of like, in a way, yeah, creating yourself a twin or creating another version of yourself you didn't want in the first place. And you can see the mother here is like, oh, I got a virus. The back was okay. And she's like, can't we just treat it? He said it would be difficult. Thought about using the backup right away, but considering you would lose a week worth of memories, I want to make sure with you first. Don't mind, it's just a week, nothing critical. You're right, but then she understands the implications later on. And see, the daughter comes back with the groceries, get some food. Said mom wasn't feeling well. Don't look so worried. I really don't understand. If we use the Mac, mom will get to stay with us. But would it really be the same person? And this is the whole dilemma. Is that even with the copies, can you say that each copy is the same person? Because they'll have their own set of experiences and own set of memories, and that'll gradually make them change in their own way. Kind of how like identical twins can often be very similar to each other, but you can't really say they're exactly the same. He did for my mom's sake, please don't be too hard. And then he's reminded of his own mother. You see the car is auto-driving to Pseudo-Nova Medicine Clinic and said he is going to visit his own mom, who's in the prison. And see, this is the woman from earlier in the flashback. And she's asking him how he's been doing, same as usual. She's making shoes, but they're all like with has prison on and watching some TV. So in a way, he's just listening in. And then he gets a flashback of when he was younger and his mom was taking care of him while she was sick. And she says, your mom will do anything for your sake. So this shows like her main motivation in the end was to make sure that he was okay and healthy and safe. Even if like she had good intentions, results turned out sour. And you see the mother here did something happen. And he said he just wanted to stop by and visit her. You don't have to go out of your way to visit her all the time. You got your own life to live. Or are you still looking for me? So in a way, he is looking for the copy of her in that. As then we get this reference to what happened early in opening. Suspect Pseudo Ayaka 32 was arrested because her personality was copied for commercial reasons. Organized distribution, smuggling routes exposed will reveal to you the breeding ground for fraud. And then this lady then understands a little more closely about why the doctor believes what he does. You see here, she's just trying to hide what she was looking at. Getting late, you can go home. Where in the world were you? And you can tell that she's worried, but she's also hungry. So they go out to eat. That Chinese place. Do you think humanoids really need a future that make us hungry? Can't say. But then she's also treating her. Thanks for cooking, even though you're not feeling well, Mom. And you tell here when she eats this scrambled eggs, she notices that it tastes different because the mother here added some fresh cream. That's an important note for later. Then she also tries some too. And then you can see that the daughter's worried and they also have to go to the operation. You see that the parents are visiting the sea. And then when the wife remembers when her husband gave her the ring and when she came to live with us. When we saw those fields of lavender on, let's see, that stretched past the horizon on our family vacation, in a way it was engraved in her mind. It's not like those memories will be the ones that she loses. But she'll forget the most recent memories about the warmth of your hands at this moment, though. Then he says that we'll just do as much as we want afterwards. And then you can see the doctor's like, she'll break down anyway. I'd rather that they get over it. Don't recognize the manufactured backup tool they used. They pay me, so I'll just do what I can. He's going to perform the operation now. See that the lady's hooked up to the machine. Shall we begin? You can see here's keying in the information. But in order to reformat her mind, he has to first erase the current data. So in a way, it's a mind wipe. So it's like forced amnesia or sort of like a system restore. You know how like when you buy a new computer, or not really that. It's more like when your computer has a virus and like it pretty much destroys everything. Sometimes the only thing you can do is do a complete system restore, which brings the computer back to its factory settings and respectively wipes all the current data on it to do so. Kind of exactly like this right here. Once you lose conscious, formatting should take about 3 minutes. And this is where she notices that you declare what's in your head before restoring the backup, which is her memories. And then you can see that the woman here stops him right here by telling him to wait. Know that the backup is the only way, but the person I am is about to disappear. So in a way, it's like her own self completely vanishing, and that is painful. It's amazing how humanoids can feel such a strong disparity of strong range of emotions, and she could tell that she's terrified right here. And then here he mentions that the patient affected with a slough virus via external connection and is currently terminal. Attempt was made to restore from a backup, but procedure was canceled at patient's request. And then you get a flashback of her memories that she doesn't want to lose. And then 14 days after initial exam, virus resulted in total loss of function. And then the mother is restored from the backup. And she's fine. But then you see when the daughter eats the scrambled eggs, right? It tastes exactly what it tastes like before, but it doesn't have the fresh cream that the other version of the mother knew about. And the mother's like, will they taste better that way? And then the daughter realizes that difference, even if it's only been like a week or two. Like, there could be drastic differences in their personality over that period of time, depending on the experiences they have. And a daughter realizes that, and she feels that incredible sense of loss for the former version of her mother's self. Sorry, Mom, don't worry. It's really nothing. The Humanoid Intelligence Duplication Law. It was adopted to protect the sanctity of personalities and deal with the societal issues posed by humanoid AI reproductions. Or are you still looking for me? So this is what the mother asked him. He's looking for her other personality. Violators receive a minimum 30-year sentence, so his mother has been jailed for years. In some cases, humanoids may be stripped of their bodies. And respectively, stripped of their body mean that they're stripped of their agency. So the mother here is like, yeah, just see you next time. Because she just doesn't want him to worry about her. And then you can see that the doctor's discussing with this lady on the screen. Look, I don't mind giving it a once-over, but a backup tool like this is just small time. As far as black market goods go, getting any real time is going to be easy. Anything you find is fine. It gives me a lead on what happened to the copy of my mom, which is his whole desire right here. Why not just come back here? She's convinced him to go back to her lab. You have few more privileges that way. But then you can see here that he says, nah, I like what I'm doing right now. Then his assistant's calling for him. From the moment man mastered flame until he was able to produce steel, mind-numbing amount of time passed. Several millennia later, the steam-powered piston engine was born. Centuries after that, nuclear power became viable. Within decades, machines became capable of beating men at chess. This is like, what do they call it? Like the chess AI, or AlphaGo, for Go. Technology is accelerating at a dizzying pace. Then you see that it references the person who was ambushed at who had his personality stolen right here. And then we get the ending. And then we get after we just get some allusion to what's going to happen in the next episode, which we'll skip because we'll learn about that more later. And then we get some ending scenes we don't really understand yet, but we'll probably understand as we keep watching. I think it mostly talks about the relationship between people and robots, I think. But yeah. Hope you all like that, like this reaction. I really am enjoying this series so far, and it's going to be a good time. I'll be reacting to episode 2 before this upcoming Saturday, so we'll be up to date soon. Alright, thank you so much and have a good rest of your day. Take care.